A warrior is a motherfucker who says, I'm here again today. I'm here again tomorrow. It's a person that puts no limit on what's possible.
My question to you is, when's the last time you celebrated personal achievement? Well, you overcame something everyone thought you couldn't. Or better yet, you overcame something that you didn't think you could overcome. That's a celebration right there that takes your breath away. You wonder how you ever live without it.
When you are consistent in anything in life, results will come. They will show. That's a fact. You don't know how long it's going to take, but if you keep going, you will eventually get your answer. The problem is that a lot of you guys quit. You never know what the result would be. So it would always be a big what if story. I don't want to know what ifs. I want to know.
The solution to your problem is not going to be found in the problem. It's not going to be found in there. You have to get out of the problem so that you can look at it, make an assessment, and you can assess how to solve the problem or whether you need to solve the problem or not.
This is the part of your life where you stop running from the past pain and start using it. Not as a weight, but as a weapon. You were built for impact, built for leadership, built to shift atmospheres. See, the enemy tried to take you out early because he knew what was inside of you. No more hiding. No more playing it small.
When you're in the middle of a struggle, it never seems like you're going to get out of it. And it's so difficult for people to trust the process or to trust that it will get better.
All of you know what I'm saying is the truth. Hard work looks horrible.
Your energy is your currency. Spend it wisely. Every person in your circle is either fueling your fire or feeding your doubt. And if you're constantly questioning your worth, it's probably not you, it's them. So protect your energy like it's sacred, because the wrong people will cost you everything.
Everyone thinks you're crazy until it works. You always have to be the person who roots for you before everyone else does. And it's usually a single clap in the auditorium for a very long period of time. It is a slow clap that's just you, rooting for you. People struggle to do things alone, and the path of the exceptional person is one of an exception, which means that you are not with other people. And rather than fighting that, see it as an indicator that you're on the right path. Because if everyone else were cheering you on, then it means you're not in the right place, because it means you're just like everyone else, and that's not where you want to be.
You owe it to yourself to not just dream, but to act, to use every last bit of potential and turn it into excellence. You owe it to yourself to do what you promised.
If you give up on your dreams, what do you have left? Nothing. I can't live that way. I have to live on the edge. If you want something bad enough, you can't let anybody tell you can't do something. I'll repeat that. If you want something bad enough, you can't let anybody tell you can't do something, not even yourself.
Everybody thinks they can have the perfect decision. There is no perfect decision. There's just life.
Who am I? What do I desire? What do I know?
The reason you have memory isn't to remember the past. The reason you have memory is to not do the same stupid things again in the future. That's fundamentally the reason. And so you remember some things and you don't remember other things. And your memory has a shape, and these stories fit into that shape. And so at minimum, the stories have evolved to adapt to your memory. Now, I would say since your memory has evolved to adapt to the world, that implies that the stories have evolved to adapt to the world.
Ultimately, what we're trying to do is get to a place of stillness and clarity and focus so we can be 100% locked in whatever we're doing. That's what this is all about. And sometimes you're flashing forward, sometimes you're looking to history for perspective, sometimes you're empty in your mind entirely. Every situation's got different handles, and you grab onto the right one at the right time.
What you believe will dictate your thoughts on a moment-by-moment basis. So if you believe that, money's hard to make, as a simple example, you're not going to have ideas or thoughts around money that would be lending to making it easily, right? So what you believe dictates what you think. And they're always aligned, right? Your beliefs dictate your thoughts, dictate your emotions, dictate your actions, which produce your results. And your results, when you look at them, then just reinforce the original belief. And so we're caught in that construct, right? But the linchpin is the belief system. So the question is, how do I actually change what I believe? If my beliefs really do dictate my destiny, right? Which is, I'm not the only person suggesting that. The question becomes, how do I change my beliefs? And in that is an inherent challenge, because by definition, beliefs are that which are true.
What does being a victim get you? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So if you're getting nothing from one direction, why not turn around and go to the other direction? I mean, to me, it's really common sense, but you have to break down that, and you have to give people this understanding that it's okay to have had something happen to you. Like, you're not a bad person because of that. And it sounds crazy unless somebody's watching this who's gone through something. You know the guilt you feel and the things that you carry that you haven't told anyone because you're ashamed or all these things. That's okay. But continuing to allow it to affect you, that's on you. That's not on the abuser. That's not on the situation. That's on you. It's a choice you have to make of, I am no longer going to let this happen.
The world that we exist in is really a world that is happening cognitively in our minds based on beliefs, rituals, culture, social indoctrination, and what our mom and our dad and our media and our priest and our teachers and our preachers tell us to be, do, and think. That's the culturescape. But we don't see that, because like a fish swimming in water, we don't realize that the rules in which we live life are not necessarily true for everyone else. They're only true for us because of our conditioning. Now, the problem with this culturescape is that many people believe it's real, and thus they become a victim of the culturescape. The things that happen to them, a breakup, a business failure, being hospitalized, severely influence them. The world happens to them.
See, great stories they're representations of patterns of adaptive behavior. The fact that a great story is true at multiple levels of analysis simultaneously. And truly great stories can be interpreted at multiple levels of analysis simultaneously. That's actually what gives them depth. So when you say a story is deep, well, here's a meaning. Oh, look, here's another. Oh, look, here's another one. And then the meanings often exist in parallel with one another. And great stories, and the really archetypal stories are like that. The story of Moses, for example, that's an archetypal story. The idea that people escape from tyranny, go through a crisis, spend time wandering in the desert, are moving towards a better place. It's like that's the story of life.
How we look at the world is, the world is objective, but how we look at it determines what we're going to be able to do to it. Epictetus says, it's not things that upset us, it's our opinions about things, right? And so realizing like, oh, okay, the world is objective. My opinion is what determines everything. And by opinion, he means judgments, right? He says it's not things that upset us, it's our judgment about things. So it's really maybe judgment's a better word than perspective.
I would either be in a powerful state of being, states like joy, curiosity, excitement, calm, peace, passion, or I would be in a primal state of being, boredom, anger, frustration, some form of fear. I'm always in one of those two states, and I'm never in two states at one time. Now, those map beautifully to the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system, right? So at any moment, we're either in fight or flight or we're in rest and relaxation. Through my journey, what I realized was the only cause of that switch to be flipped was my own thinking. The meaning that I was giving the experience. The experience itself wasn't dictating whether I was in a primal state or a powerful state, whether I was in sympathetic fight or flight or parasympathetic rest and restoration or relaxation. It was the meaning I was giving the experience. And so that meant that all of my personal suffering was within my own control. I needed to start controlling the meaning I was giving the experiences of life.
Life can happen to you, or life can happen from you. And at this world, at this level, life is emerging from you. You are creating the world as you want to see it. You don't like the university system, you create Mind Valley U. You don't like the way mobile phones work, you create the iPhone. Now, it doesn't have to be something as big as that. It could be the way you hack your education. It could be the way you start your business. It could be the way you told your parents that you were not going to blindly follow their fundamentalist religious ideas, even though they had been part of your family for 300 years. You create your own rules. And this is when this great awakening starts happening.
And I'm going to use this for everybody. Everybody's so crippled by decisions, but you never know how the other thing worked out. Let me give you an example. Let's say you don't go to college and you start this business and you were 100% right and it's huge and you're doing so great. What I'm saying is you're not going to know. So choose, live, and then if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, adjust.